Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 11 cryptocurrencies for 2019. These are ones that I think have an absolute shot to really see increases in price and increases in value. Now, of course, this is based on there being a bull run of some point. These are not necessarily going to be picked based on their mechanics and their actual value as a project. I think these are picked due to what may be hype as well as popularity during the next bull run, which I believe will start hopefully at the end of this year, but at the early next year in 2019 by the latest, in my opinion. I mean, I guess maybe I could see a scenario where it's quarter 3 or quarter 4 for 2019, but most likely by the end of quarter 1, we will hit some gains. Find it very unlikely with all the news and all the things we have coming out that would not be the case. So I'm going to start first, and these are in no particular order. I guess they kind of almost go in order of where they're at ranked right now in CoinMarketCap for the most part. But number 11, of course, is Bitcoin, right? We can't leave out Bitcoin when we're talking about cryptocurrencies. I could have called this an altcoin video, but it's important for you to understand that Bitcoin is going to most likely lead the charge in consistency. And of course, it's going to be the first one to go up. And then hopefully we'll see alts pump up after it. There's so much news with Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin ETF and backed, where people are going to start being able to spend crypto or invest in crypto in new kinds of ways, new ways for institutional money to come in and things like that, which, of course, institutional money isn't the goal of cryptocurrency, but we can't ignore it. It is coming in. So I am going to put Bitcoin at number 11. At number 10, I have Litecoin. Now, Litecoin, a lot of people refer to it as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And I really believe that that is a fair comparison. Litecoin has a lot of technological advantages over Bitcoin. However, of course, Bitcoin is almost grandfathered in, if you will, by being the number one crypto, the first one out. Of course, we know Satoshi wrote the white paper about 10 years ago and things like that. But Litecoin does have a lot to like about it. And when new people come into the market, Litecoin is one that they've most likely heard of or have some familiarity with. Because of Coinbase, obviously, and it does have a big name of Charlie Lee behind it. So coming in at number 9, I have Ethereum. Now, a lot of people say, and this is what I meant at the beginning of the video when I said it doesn't necessarily have to do with the technical side or the quality of the product. A lot of people would argue that Ethereum, with its scalability issues, is set to continue to tumble. Some people have put estimates that say that Ethereum is going to gain at a much less rate than most of the other cryptocurrencies when it comes to value. There was a chart that was put out that showed that like Monero and Bitcoin and Litecoin were going to have huge gains over the next few years, and Ethereum was basically barely going to double and would never reach all-time highs again. I just don't think that's true. I think when it comes to familiarity with cryptocurrency, there's 4 projects that most people are going to know. It's going to be Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and also Ripple, aka XRP. And so for that reason, I think Ethereum is going to have a big bounce back. I talk to a lot of people that don't know a lot about crypto, and they're always like, what's that one? Like the Ethereum or Ethereum, what's that one? I've heard so many people say that. So there is some level of knowledge that people have of it. And when a bull run hits, it's much less about technicals and product. It's more about investing in a couple of letters that you're familiar with. And I think that that is going to cause Ethereum to have a huge bounce back next year. Coming in at number 7, is that right? 11, 10, 9. Number 8, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Coming in at number 8, I have XRP, which for the same reason. A lot of people would say that the two that people are most familiar with when it comes to cryptos are Bitcoin and Ripple, because Ripple's had so much publicity on CNBC and things like that. I do think Ripple is going to have a really big year again. I think it may actually outperform Bitcoin when it comes to the gains it's going to get. And a lot of that has to do with the psychology of an investor. I believe that XRP is just one where people see the price of it and they say, oh, well, it's not a couple cents. It's not $1,500. It's something I can afford at like about 50 cents right now. And with the hype combined with that, I think that's going to lead a lot of people to think this is the one they want to invest in. Now, honorable mention along those same lines that I didn't put on this list are Cardano and XLM. I think if XLM does get its Coinbase listing, it's going to basically kind of follow XRP's pattern. And Cardano, also another really, really cheap one that people see a lot of value in. But because their roadmap is so slow, I actually think that Cardano may slip on CoinMarketCap next year before really roaring back in 2020. So that's my personal opinion on that. I am bullish on Cardano in the long term. So coming in at number 7, I have Monero. I've said many, many times, privacy coins are always going to have their niche. And when it comes to privacy coins, nothing can hang with Monero. It's going to be the number 1 privacy coin, in my opinion. Nothing can touch it. Basically, you've had these competitors that have risen up, such as Dash with its private send, but a lot of people say that feature doesn't even work. So when it comes to privacy coins, Monero trumps them all, like I said. And I think that when we have this rush for people to come into the space again, they're going to look at Monero as one that has a lot of potential. But I do think that something that people don't really think about, especially here in the West, is that in a lot of other countries, there is a need for privacy coins because of oppressive governments. We don't really have that in the United States. Well, some people would argue that, but in my personal opinion, our government is not oppressive. It's too big and bulky and all the stuff. And it's not 100% honest in any stretch of the imagination. But of course, they're not going to kill us over here for owning some cryptocurrencies. I think in some countries that may actually be the case. So there is a need for people in other countries really to have these privacy coins. And I think that's also going to lend to the rise of Monero. I believe Monero eventually could be in the top 5 of all cryptocurrencies. Okay, so coming in here, we have Tron. Now, Tron is one that has really grown on me, and I think the recent rise of transactions that they've actually passed Ethereum pretty much on a day-to-day basis at this point, it really shows the potential for this network, especially with the BitTorrent acquisition that was performed by Justin Sun and Tron. I think that's going to add a lot more to this project. They do have something, I believe it's called Project Atlas is what it's called, and that is going to be something that's specifically going to use BitTorrent. But I think Tron at 2.5 cents right now, or close to that, and people are going to look and see the all-time highs were around 30%, and that was on hype alone. Now that the project actually has some level of a product behind it, I think we could see that number grow. I think Tron is going to either go one of two ways. Either Tron is going to hit a wall and it's going to drop like a rock, or Tron is actually going to do what they say they're doing, which is a lot, and could absolutely skyrocket. This could be another one that could drop out of the top 50, or it could be in the top 5. I think with Monero, as I talked about before, it doesn't really have the potential to drop, only the potential to gain. But Tron has the potential to drop a lot or to go up. And I believe that Tron is going to go up. I've said before I thought it might drop out of the top 10. I've really changed on that. I think Tron is going to be a top 10 project by the time we get to the end of this bull run. I mean, it's sitting at number 11 right now, so it's not that large of a stretch. But I think the thing is, I do believe it's going to rise. I don't think it is going to fall. So next we have the one that I think may actually be in line. Aside from some very small market cap gems that we may not know about at this point, I think Ontology has the potential to rise the absolute most. And this is due to the memorandum of understanding between Ontology and Neo, which allows all the Ontology people to work on Neo and all the Neo people to work on Ontology. And I feel like that's really a one-way relationship right now. I think Ontology is getting all of the focus, and I think we're going to continue to see Neo fall. And 2019 is really going to be the year of Ontology that may compare to what we saw with Ant shares in 2017. So I expect Ontology, like I said, to pass Neo, to be a top 10 project. I think it's got a lot of good potential. So next, coming in at number 4, we have Basic Attention Token. This is one of my absolute favorite ones. It is going to be on Coinbase, in my opinion. I think it's going to be the next one listed. Of course, honorable mention is ZRX. I think a lot of the Ethereum scalability issues have made me shy away from ZRX so much. Now, if Ethereum's able to make this huge comeback and solve their scalability project, then I would shoot ZRX right back up. But because of the potential for Ethereum to eventually fail, which I don't think will happen, but just because of that potential, that's what made me leave ZRX off this list. As you guys know, I've talked a lot about ZRX and Basic Attention Token on my channel. Love Basic Attention Token. And the reason why I think they have the potential to really make massive gains is because of the Brave browser. I think rewarding and tipping is something we're going to see more and more of. And the Brave browser basically has that built in for content creators and also a way for people watching ads to make money as well. So because of that and the continual growth of the Brave browser user base, I think Basic Attention Token, it's got use case, it's got a way for people actually to make use of the token, which is really cool and so much more than over 60% of the projects in the top 100 can boast of. And I think as people are going to get more tired of things like Facebook and Google and centralization, they're going to look for these decentralized options that are going to allow them to basically be more free on the internet and not have to share their information. And that's what Basic Attention Token is going to allow them to do. So coming in at number 3 is a cryptocurrency project I really like, which is Funfair. Now, a lot of people have said that some of the main beginnings of the internet were due to porn and gambling. And because of that, I think we've already kind of seen the same thing with blockchain, where there are porn tokens and gambling tokens. And I think that gambling is going to be something that lends itself very easy to a decentralized solution. And not only that, blockchain technology allows gambling on the internet to be 100% fair, which is where Funfair token comes in. It already has a casino, an online casino that's using the Funfair blockchain. And I believe that Funfair is going to get huge gains this year. The price of Funfair is also pretty low, but you can't really look at this because Funfair is not going to be something that people are going to invest in, most likely. I believe that its actual increases are going to come from a user base, from people actually using it to gamble with. And then once people catch a hold of the fact that it's fair gambling, as opposed to, we all know these online casinos, they rig the odds, right? I believe they do. Maybe you don't. But with Funfair and the Funfair blockchain, that's not possible. So I believe that Funfair is definitely one that has a lot of potential next year. Coming in at number 2, now remember these are not in any specific order, I just numbered them so you know there's 11. Number 2 is Elastos. I really love what Elastos is trying to do with the decentralized internet. It's not just a decentralized internet, it's a decentralized connection. It's a new way of connecting to the internet. And it's actually dropped pretty far, down to 115 on CoinMarketCap. It's recently had some negative news and FUD about it, but I don't believe any of it, and I think Elastos is one that's definitely going to make a lot of gains. If you look at its chart, it was up, I believe, around $50 during the last year. I think it's going to return to those kind of gains, if not even move further. I think that a lot of these Chinese projects are going to do very, very well over the next bull run, and I think Elastos has got the opportunity to almost lead that charge. I think that the price of this, with the supply only being 33 million, the price could go up astronomically, in my opinion. It's got a low supply, almost as low as Bitcoin's. And then when you, well, I guess it's about 50% more than Bitcoin's, but relative to other coins, the supply is really, really low. And if Elastos is even able to get close to what they're trying to achieve, specifically on the side of enterprise, getting businesses to work with their new kind of connection, I think that we could be in for some absolutely huge gains when it comes to Elastos. And number 1, once again, not that I believe will have the biggest gains, but Request Network. I really, really love Request Network. And one common theme with a lot of these projects that I really like is they already have use case. I accept Request Network on my website through WooCommerce. I use a WordPress site, bitboycrypto.com. You guys can check out the merch there. But I already use Request Network. It already works. I can receive money on there for payment. I think Request Network, with that WordPress and WooCommerce, well, really the WooCommerce partnership, and as well with having their own WordPress plugin, I think Request Network has absolutely huge potential, specifically for this next year. I think eventually there will be a lot more payment platforms that enter the fray that might hurt Request Network. But if we have another bull run and people are buying shirts everywhere and merch everywhere and courses everywhere over the next year, over 2019, I think Request Network could be in for some huge gains. Because people are going to see value in that. They're also continuing to add more ERC20s that you can use to pay. For instance, I believe ZRX and Basic Attention Token were just added to Request Network as possible payment methods. So I believe as we see more of these ERC20s become integrated into Request Network, people are going to have more and more options to be able to pay for things. And as we know, ERC20s right now are like 80% of all cryptocurrency. So it's absolutely huge that they increase that number, but that makes the pool of people that can pay for things so much bigger. So I do believe Request Network is going to have a huge year. I guess I do want to throw another honorable mention in here, kind of the same premise as Request Network, which is PoonDX. You guys know I love PoonDX. I've been talking about it for a very, very, very long time. I have mentioned that down the road, I believe they might have some real serious competitors when it comes to something like Square wanting to jump into the crypto payments world. But in the short term, over 2019, they've already set a lot of their PoonDX XPOS devices out to ship. I think PoonDX could be in for some good gains in 2019. We haven't seen it over 2018, but hopefully 2019, PoonDX will be able to finally reach the potential that a lot of people think it has. So that's it. That is my current thoughts on what I'm expecting for 2019, where I'm putting my money where my mouth is with my investments and things like that. So everybody, of course, this is not financial advice. This video, I probably need to throw a disclaimer on at the beginning. Maybe you saw it, or maybe I forgot. But I'm not a financial advisor. These are all just my own personal opinions. But you guys let me know. Let me know what you guys think are going to be the biggest gainers for 2019. Don't feel shafted if I didn't list your coin. That doesn't mean it's not going to have good gains, of course. These are just the ones that I particularly have my eye on. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, BitBoy out.